Alrighty.
All right. Hey, Corey, how you doing? Hey, before we get started, man, how'd you make out? I was looking at the newspaper the other day. How'd you make out with that public nudity charge?
Well, you know, you won't believe this, but there is another Corey Kowalski.
You're kidding me.
No, I get this shit all the time.
Oh wow.
And actually, if you go to the state website, and you type in a name, it shows up that I'm about 4 years back pay for child support.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I just saw it. Looked just like you. Twin. Here, have a seat.
No, hopefully that wasn't me.
I hope so too.
But no, that's it's actually kind of a, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, someone's got your same name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it actually helps me a lot of times because people get a kick out of it. They think it's kind of funny. So if you ever see me running naked across your by your cooling tower,
Yeah.
you'll know it's no. Seriously, yeah, it's been just kind of a pain. What do you do?
I know.
So
very good.
the only thing that kind of stinks about it is the kids get a little bit at school too.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Heard about your dad.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, you know, that's the bad part, right? So, but that's okay. Speaking of kids, I think I saw in the news. Didn't your boy make a big putt?
Yeah, he did.
Golf meet?
Yeah, they won. They won district.
Yeah, I thought it. I guess I didn't know his first name. I just heard Rutledge.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
It was pretty good. I was there.
Yeah. Were you?
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, sweet. So how's their team looking?
They won district, so their next step is regional.
Oh yeah.
So that's a good next step. So
Yeah.
all the way to state, maybe.
Think they got a chance?
They're young. They got some good. Next couple of years is going to be really good for them, but take what you can get.
Yeah.
You know, right now
Yeah.
they're excited and
Just
you know.
enjoy it.
Yep. So I think they'll do fine. I don't know if they'll win regional or not, but they got a shot. I mean, that's why they play the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to get on the boat and do some fishing with the kids. It's just nice to have something where you can go and spend some time with them. And just,
Sure.
you know, tell them to leave their phone at home.
Yep.
And connect a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that nicer weather's helping for that. And
Yep.
And I was wondering too if you had a chance to go out and check that.
I hadn't, but John told me that it looked really, really good. He said best it's ever seen.
Yeah.
I just hadn't had time to go up there.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was hoping to talk to you about that a little bit and just kind of follow up on what we've been looking at with our surveys and all our visits. We've been, spending time with John, and he's been tremendously helpful.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty fired up about some of the things we're
like
looking
it.
at doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Okay. I'm just going to open this up. Okay. So as you know, we've been down there with John now, I think, 3 times, plus with cleaning up that cooling tower last week. So we've gotten to know your system pretty well.
Yeah.
I think we've come up with some pretty good recommendations that you're going to like.
Okay.
As far as saving you some money out there and improving your operations.
Right.
And just kind of a quick review on Chem-Aqua again. I know we did this company's story way back at the beginning, but we've been focusing mainly on your cooling towers.
Yep.
But for water treatment, we do it all. We got the boilers, wastewater treatment plants. I know that doesn't pertain to you, but you see we did the tower cleanings.
Yep.
We can also clean air handlers, coils. With the cooling tower, if we have to do some Legionella testing later on, that's kind of getting to be a bigger and bigger topic now with cooling towers. We can then test that equipment. We can even do hands-free delivery. So just kind of want to remind you that, yes, we've been focused on the cooling towers, but we really are a company that can really support and help in any type of water treatment.
Gotcha.
And then this program we put together, it handles, any program we do really handles the 3 main issues with water treatment.
Right.
You've got your corrosion, scale, usually not so much corrosion in a cooling tower, but scale and microbiological growth.
Gotcha.
Those are the 2 big ones in a cooling system.
Yep.
And as you remember, with that green you had in that, that cooling tower, that microbiological growth is really important.
Yep.
And when you handle all those 3, really get efficient use of water, and typically we're helping you reduce your costs with water savings and energy savings.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of all plays a part together. So the 4 or 5 things that I'm really going to stress and talk about after our visits is, you know, first I'm going to stress those tower cleanings.
Right.
Then I'll also look at what kind of energy savings that leads to by keeping that tower clean.
Okay.
And a couple of things we found while doing our surveys was we're going to look at increasing the cycles of concentration of cooling tower.
Okay.
Help you prevent you from blowing water down the drain. Using more of that water and saving those water costs. And then we've already, you know, for sure you wanted the new feed and bleed equipment.
Yeah.
And then show you a couple of things we found in your chilled water.
Okay. Perfect.
Anything else you can think of that?
Yeah. I like you get them all.
Okay. So I got them there in the computer, and also have them picture for you to see here too.
Yep.
You know, again.
Yep.
That's what it looked like before.
Yeah, I know, don't remind me.
And I mean, it's just amazing how good of a job they did. So,
I guess you found that float somewhere in here.
yeah. Well, I think it's over here. It's just a bad angle.
Yeah.
You know, you know, what are you gonna do?
I know.
Yeah. Maybe it was stuck under all that green.
I'm sure it was.
So yeah, so that, you know, now that we've got it clean, that's my main priority, is to keep it looking like that.
Gotcha.
And I know
That'd be
John.
good.
I know John was really impressed too. I mean, you know, and that's one thing nice about having that cleaning tower, that cooling tower cleaning crew. I don't know of any other company in the water treatment industry that does that.
Right.
They may hire it out with a contractor, but you know, to have your own guys that are professionally trained
Right.
and
he said they did a great job. They let you clean and they found it too. So.
with all the ASHRAE 188 Legionella stuff, I think that's really going to be a huge benefit for Chem-Aqua, having that group that can go around and do all that tower cleaning. And then there's a copy of the certificate that we leave, stating that it was cleaned. And again, just kind of a little bit of review, but I don't know if you ever clean your air handlers up on the roof or any of the coils, but we have those services.
Yep.
Maybe in the chilled loop, you know, maybe if you've got to clean that system up, might be another application.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of stuff, a lot of things that they can clean up, and just want to make sure you know that services is available.
I appreciate that.
Sure. Okay, so now that microbiological growth that was in that system, what that bio-slime really is it's an insulator. You know, kind of like insulating your house, right? You put that fiberglass insulation. The bio-slime kind of does the same thing. It really inhibits that heat transfer, and it makes your chiller work a lot harder, so you're really increasing your electrical costs.
Right.
So what I put together, just a table, same electrical rate, same size cooling tower, so you can see, you know, as that thickness increases, there's some pretty substantial energy savings. Now, you know, we didn't see the inside of the chiller, so I'm kind of guessing by the looks of your tower, I think you're in that 1/250th of an inch, so it's probably in that 0.005.
Yeah.
So probably like in that, you know, probably saving about $10,000 a year, you know, just by having that slime in there,
Right.
And the other thing that can happen too.
How long will it take you to do that?
To do what?
To get that cleaned up?
You mean in the chiller?
Yeah.
Well, first we'd have to see if it's in there.
Right.
Probably the easiest thing to do is when you do an inspection is to brush it out. I don't know if you normally do that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And then once it's cleaned up, basically what we're doing is preventing it from happening again.
Okay.
You know, so really, if you cleaned it up, you'd start seeing those savings right away.
Okay.
But if you're not implementing the right program and it comes back,
Right.
you know, you're losing them throughout the year.
Gotcha.
The other thing that happens with that bioslime is it's called MIC, or microbiological induced corrosion. So underneath that slime, your corrosion's increasing, because that slime is like a protective layer for the water underneath, so the chemicals can't get at that water that's underneath. So you just get accelerated corrosion underneath when you have bioslime like that.
Okay.
So that's another good reason to get that stuff cleaned up and keep it clean. So what we're going to do is continue with those cooling tower cleanings.
Okay.
I'd like to include that in our proposal.
Okay.
And then also start using a dual biocide program.
Okay.
You know, right now you just have the bleach.
Right.
just a single chemical that you're dumping in. I believe I saw a coffee can back there that he was using.
Yeah.
But cooling tower best practices really say you should be using a dual biocide program.
Okay.
So usually you feed one Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the other one Tuesday, Thursday, and it really kind of
like immune system.
Yeah, if you just feed one, the bugs can kind of
Yeah.
get used to that one chemical. When you have two, kind of throws them off balance, and they don't, it does a better job at killing them.
Okay.
So that really is the industry best practice for cooling towers, is to have an oxidizing and a non-oxidizing biocide.
Okay.
And then with our new controller, we'll be sure that we're feeding it properly. Sometimes John could dump in too much, sometimes maybe not enough. You're just kind of guessing. At least with that controller and the timers, you'll be, every time it's coming on, you'll be feeding the proper amount to treat the system properly.
That'd be good.
Yep. So again, if we can keep that tower clean, I think a conservative number is about $10,000 a year. And as you saw on that one chart, it could be, 10 times that.
Sure.
If it gets that dirty. So is that something you think you'd like to see in the proposal? Is that?
I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, great.
that makes sense.
And then what we also have is computer programs where you can actually go in and, that chart we showed you with the different costs, we've got a modeling program.
Okay.
So I plugged those numbers in and you can see that's where we got that's about 9,800. I just rounded up to
Yep.
10 grand.
Okay.
So there's some science behind it, some math behind it. I just didn't, pull a number out of my hat.
Okay.
And again,
Yep.
it's my goal to make your tower
Yep.
keep looking like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk is about your controlling the conductivity or the cycles of concentration in your tower. I think this is probably more important than the MB program. But since we just did the cleaning and had that great success, I thought I'd lead off with that.
Sure.
Because we should never see it look like this.
Right.
So what we found is, when we came and did our water testing, you can see this conductivity in the cooling tower. And I'm sure you know this, but conductivity is basically it's measured by passing electrical current through the water. And the more stuff that's dissolved in the water, the more current is passed. So basically, the dirtier the water,
Right.
the higher the conductivity. So your city water has a conductivity of 330,
Right.
and your tower is 990.
Okay.
So if you divide those, you get three cycles.
Yep.
Okay. And when you look at, this is your most current report from Nocturnal,
Right.
they're seeing the same,
Yep.
they're seeing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Now they're also saying though that you are showing good control of conductivity.
Right.
So we believe, and someone at Nocturnal did at one time too, because the actual set point in your controller is 1500.
Okay.
That's and that's what we feel you can safely run your tower at too. 'Cause that's where you get the 5 cycles.
Right.
So that 1500 divided by 330 is
Right.
roughly the 5
5
cycles.
cycles.
So for some reason, even on his report here, it says that 1,000 is the max. So I don't know why it says 1,000 is the max and the set point in the controller is 1500, but when we start running our program, we'll be shooting for the 1500.
Okay.
Okay. So now if you look at your water usage based on cycles, you can see here's your current. Your annual water cost is about $19,600.
Okay.
So if we can cycle it up to 5 cycles, we're going to save you about $5,200 a year
Wow.
just in water costs. Now the microbiological one, that's a little that's a little tougher to give you an exact penny, but this one guaranteed.
Okay.
We reduce the
That's
increase
pretty
the
good.
cycles, reduce the blowdown, you will get this water savings. And in addition, you're also going to reduce the amount of inhibitor use too, because as the water's going down the drain,
Right.
so is the chemical.
Yep.
So again, if we can increase those cycles of concentration and maintain those proper chemical levels, there's your annual water savings, $5,200.
Wonder why they couldn't run it that way.
It's a couple of ideas, and I didn't check to see if the controller was calibrated when I was here. Sometimes I don't like to touch, other people's equipment, but it's possible the probe is not calibrated.
Okay.
So the controller thinks it's at 1500,
Right.
but it's reading a false high reading, right?
Yeah.
So that could be one thing. Or two, maybe there's a valve leaking, maybe the
Okay.
floats, maybe with all that green, the float, maybe it was stuck up, that's why you can't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe there was something mechanically that they just didn't catch, but still it seems, to me it still seems odd that they said everything was okay.
Right. Right, I'm with you.
You think you would have said, geez, why is that connectivity so low?
Right.
So it could be the blowdown valve, it could be the float, there could be, maybe there's something plugged up in the hot deck, so water, I don't know, you noticed water leaking down the...
No, I hadn't. I'm not up there every day, so.
Yeah. So those are
Very well
usually,
could have been.
those are usually some of the common causes.
Okay.
But you're looking at $5,200 a year in savings and about almost 600,000 gallons of
Yep.
water a year that you'll be saving
Yep.
by going up to those the proper cycles.
Gotcha.
So I know if it was me, I'd want to start, after I leave, making sure that controller's set up right and start realizing those savings.
I'm with you.
Okay, great. So again, just like we did for the slime calculations, we also can model your cooling tower.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, and you can see what I like doing this is your green arrow there. You're currently at 3 cycles, and you can see that the water meter data you gave us pretty much matches right up. So
Right.
I'm pretty confident this just wasn't a
Right.
one-time thing that you've been running low pretty much all year.
Yep.
So we can put in our target cycles of 5, and it does all the calculations for us, and that's where we get that $5,200 a year.
Okay.
Now, and I think you told us that you already are receiving evaporation credits from
No,
the city.
no,
You're not?
I don't think this city does that.
Well, they don't do it?
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Well, one thing we might want to talk to them about is, you can see, there is a potential evaporation credit of about another $11,000.
Yeah, I've tried and
Okay.
they're just not.
Okay.
Someday, but right
Okay.
now they're just not doing that.
Okay, great. Well, I just wanted to let
Yeah,
you know that.
I appreciate it. I know I can get some, but
Okay.
I'm shocked, but they just don't do it.
Yeah. Probably what they do if they gave it to you, they just raise your rates anyway, so
Yeah.
it should probably just be
Offset
a
it.
wash, yeah.
Yep.
So then, the next thing, and this one was kind of an easy one because you told us that you wanted to do that, is really upgrade your feed and bleed
Yeah.
equipment. And, that equipment, along with that blowdown valve, could be the reason why you can't maintain that connectivity.
Gotcha. It's
so-
pretty antiquated.
Yeah. So I think it'd be a good time to get that updated.
Yeah, I agree.
You stop wasting water, stop with those increased energy costs, and then just make sure that program's run the way it should.
Yep.
So here's a picture of your existing system.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
I'm done.
one pump, yeah. And basically here's the new system we're proposing. Again, there's that mini wave we talked
Yeah.
about. You've got 3 pumps, 1 for your inhibitor, 2 for your biocides, and then your conductivity probe, flow switch. It's all kind of in this recirculation. So we'll pipe the water in the inlet, water will come out the outlet, and that's what really controls your water chemistry in there.
Gotcha.
So there'll be a little bit of plumbing work, but you can kind of see you've already got
Yeah.
just a little cutting some PVC and doing some glue, and it shouldn't take too much to get. My
And
plan-
John can do that.
My plan was, you already got a whiteboard there, maybe we
Yeah.
can just screw our board right to yours and it should work pretty
Yep.
nice. And then, I didn't, this you haven't seen before, and, the reason I put this in here, I was thinking about it, I didn't offer it originally, but it's a new technology that these controllers have now,
Mm-hmm.
where they will connect to the internet,
Okay.
and then it gives us 24/7 access to how that controller and how that system's running.
Okay.
And if something's an alarm, we get emails and we can set it up so that you get them or John. I guess at first I wasn't thinking that maybe it'd be a fit, but with how the
Yeah.
system looked and cleaning it up and making sure that you're getting those water savings, might be something to think about. And what I was thinking of doing is kind of giving you our base price and our proposal that we talked about. Maybe offering this as an option, something to think about that
Okay.
you might want to upgrade to it.
So the other one's not connected to the internet?
No.
It's got to be the AquaDart? The mini wave's not?
The mini wave is the same controller,
Okay,
okay? But the AquaDart, we actually add another probe
right,
because you can read the amount of chemical in the cooling tower water.
okay,
And then you have to put in a card so this controller can talk to the internet, and then you need a cellular phone modem,
okay,
so you can actually get internet access.
okay. But you can't do that without having an AquaDart?
Well, the AquaDart is kind of our, what we call the technology.
Okay,
So the AquaDart uses a mini wave controller.
okay,
Okay, so you're still getting the mini wave, but if you want to upgrade to the AquaDart technology, that's just our marketing. That's what we call it.
okay. So I
Data
cannot,
acquisition.
right.
So
So I cannot use the internet with just a mini wave only?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yes. So if you didn't think you wanted to get the traced
yeah,
chemical and use the AquaDart, we can get a card for the mini wave that will connect to the
okay,
internet.
okay.
But then all you see really is the
That's what I wanna know.
conductivity.
Okay.
You don't
okay.
see the chemical.
Okay. Even if it's traced chemical?
Because you don't have the probe.
Okay, okay. All right,
Yep. So yeah, so the controller's capable of hooking to the internet,
okay.
but really.
So I can upgrade that if
Yes.
I wanted to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And like I said,
What's the difference? What's the price differential?
just your price. I think it's typically in that, $2,000 to $3,000 adder
Okay,
range to get to that, to get that
Okay.
AquaDart.
okay,
So it's not terrible, but yet, and I guess the reason I did offer it is if we're going through and spending the money and making this system really run nice to get all these energy savings, it might be something worthwhile to look at.
Okay.
And the other reason I like it is I have a number of cooling tower systems that have it, and this is an example of a graph from one of them, is I have 24/7 access.
okay,
So if I was here today testing, and I wasn't coming back for a month, if something got screwed up tomorrow, I would know about it. I could call John and say, hey, what's going on? Do we need me to stop back in? Without this, we may not know about a problem until the next month. It could run for 29 days
right,
out of whack, and potentially no one knows.
okay,
So that's where I find the biggest benefit of it, is having that 24/7 access.
okay.
Because if something's out of whack, I get an email alarm.
And I would get an email along to me, you can set it up?
Whoever would
Okay.
like to get them can get them.
Okay, so about $3,000,
Yeah.
3 to 5 or $3,000?
No, it's like 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
In addition to the
Right,
base
right,
package,
right.
it's an adder to get those functions.
Okay.
So, and really, that's, to be honest with you, I don't sell many, especially when you get into larger systems. You typically don't sell many without it, just
Okay.
because it really is a nice feature to have.
okay,
And then the one thing that we also talked about, and I know you had an interest in, is going away from the drums
Yeah.
and having the chemical
right,
tanks.
hands-free.
Yep, and then our proposal includes that hands-free delivery, so.
Okay.
So John no longer should have to handle any chemical.
Perfect,
And again, we say that, but I just want you to be aware is that if there could be a time where there might be an emergency where, because typically our trucks come around every 2 to 3 weeks.
okay,
Sometimes there's an emergency situation, we may
Right.
have to ship something in common carrier,
Right.
just so you're, aware of that, but for the
Right.
most part, you will not have to, 99% of the time anymore, you shouldn't have to touch any chemical.
okay,
And then our driver takes away the empty drums too, so you don't have all those empty drums laying around.
gotcha,
So that's just another example of a system. As you can see, the same type of
Yeah.
board, controller, and then pumping the chemical right into the tank.
okay,
And I showed you this with the company story, but again, here's an example of a driver pumping,
Right.
chemical into the tank.
gotcha,
Okay, so again, we're really going to be, with our new equipment, focusing on controlling those cycles of concentration.
yep,
In addition, with that new controller and feeding the biocides properly, we'll also be taking care of that microbiological.
yep,
The thing to remember though is that the chemicals can only kill what's in the water, below the water line.
right,
So you kind of see, you get a lot of this green
Yeah.
up on, water splashes.
yeah,
That's where the cooling tower cleanings really come into effect.
right,
Is the stuff that does get on the walls or out of the water, then the services group comes and keeps those surfaces clean.
Okay.
So, you know, and as you know, energy is not going to get any cheaper, so,
Right.
you know, keeping these systems clean is just going to save you a lot of money in the long run.
Yep.
So what we're planning on doing, we're going to replace that bleed and feed equipment that, you know, with our standard system, you know, that you pretty much already agreed to. We're going to include the chemical tanks and that hands-free delivery.
Yep.
And then, like we talked, I'll put on an option for that
Okay.
Aqua technology.
Okay.
What you think about it? And it's something, once you have the controller, if you say, hey, Corey, it's something maybe in 6 months from now I'd really like to
Right.
add, it can be added.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay.
So that, I mean, does all that sound?
Yep.
Is there anything else you can think of?
No.
No? Okay, so that kind of, you know, finishes up on the cooling tower. And like I said, as far as what John's told you, I mean, that's pretty much what he focused on
Yeah.
too, so you can
That's
try to
what he
miss
said.
anything that you're thinking of.
Right.
So then we also looked at your closed loop. So again, that's a picture of our
Your field service.
field service report. And again, this is printed out, but it gets away from those carbon copies. It's all going to be
Yeah.
electronic now. And what we found is, if you look at the chilled loop, I mean, you can see how high your iron and your copper levels are. You know, you're 15 times
Yep.
and about 30 times on the
Yeah.
copper. And, you know, if you look at that nocturnal report again, they were seeing the same type of thing.
Yep.
And, you know, again, no mention of those levels being high.
Yep.
You know, even when you grab the water, it kind of looks like root beer, so you can
Yeah.
tell something's up. Another thing I found interesting is the pH.
Yeah.
You know, when that pH gets that high, something's, you know, I'm not sure how it could get that high,
Right.
but something got in that loop. And what that high pH does is it really attacks that copper.
Yeah.
You know, copper likes to be in that 9 range.
Yeah.
And typically when the proper chemical's in there, it's buffered, so you are in that 9 range.
Right.
But yeah, there's something going on here. So we might want to actually,
Is that because this is low?
no.
Not because that's low.
If that's high, like I said, that usually brings the pH, because there's some buffers in there that bring the
Okay.
pH of the water up. But typically you're in that 9,
Right.
9.5 range. You know, I don't know if something could have got in there.
Right.
Maybe someone dumped the wrong chemical in the pot
Okay.
feeder. So what I'd recommend is, you know, we want to get that level up. We may even want to put a little acid in there to get that
Okay.
pH down.
Okay.
So again, you know, I took a sample of the city water, sample of your loop water, and, you know, so the other thing we probably want to do is get a filter on that and try and get that stuff.
Okay.
You know, all those fine particles that are in there could plug little, you know, little lines. It tears up pump seals. It really does a lot of damage. So, you know, the other option you have is if, you know, especially with that high pH, it's a lot of water, but you just might want to dump it and start over.
I don't know if I can dump it.
You know. But, you know, those are
Right.
kind of your two options.
Right.
Start filtering it or dump it and start over. You know, the other problem with dumping it sometimes is in any low spots, you're not going to get the crap out. You know, it's just going to settle there.
Right.
So then when you fill it and recirculate again, you're still going to have stuff in there that's probably going to have to be filtered out anyway, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of it out, but you never get all of it out because there's always low spots. You can't drain those lines completely.
Right.
So basically, like I said, we're going to ensure that the proper amount of inhibitors in there, and we're looking at installing a side stream. You know, when we looked at your pot feeder that's there,
That's
and
old.
it's leaking, you can kind of see there's
Yeah.
leak. Yeah. So I think it's time for a new pot feeder, and what we'll do is we'll put in a filter feeder.
Okay.
So if you look,
Yeah.
you know, it's just got that
It's probably time. It's been here as long as that controller's been here.
Yeah, and just to remember that, you know, with the system being as dirty as it is, John's probably gonna have to be changing those filters.
Not hard.
No, you take the top off, there's a little T-handle that just lifts,
Okay.
it just lifts right out, and you put the clean one on. I mean, it probably takes about, you know, 2 minutes to do.
Okay.
But with it being as dirty as it is, you know, and
Yeah.
you might wanna even put a pressure gauge on the end of the outlet, so you can tell when it's dirty and no flow anymore.
Yep.
You know, so, so that's what we're around proposing for that closed loop system, and just thought I'd just verify again, does that make?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, great. So again, just as kind of a review, you know, we had those great results on that cleaning.
Yep.
An estimate, you know, you're looking at about $10,000 savings by keeping that system clean. Also reducing the risk of things like Legionella, stuff like that from stuff growing in your tower. And also getting rid of that slime, any corrosion might be happening underneath that slime layer. We're going to increase those tower cycles of concentration. That we're sure you're looking at, you're going to get that $5,000 in savings. That one's an easy one. Upgrading your bleed and feed equipment.
Yep.
And then looking at that filter feeder and getting the
Right,
the inhibitor and the pH, get everything right for your loop to minimize that corrosion. Anything else you can?
No.
Okay, great. So, you know, I started in this business since 1997. So I've kind of, you know, you've been doing it a while. You kind of hear the same two things. You know, first is it's too good to be true. There's no way you can save me $15,000, right? You know, but that's why we try to do the calculations, do all that math to show you that those savings are real, and I am very confident that Chem-Aqua can deliver that ROI that we discussed.
Okay.
You know, so basically you get those savings, it's like your water treatment program is free, basically, right?
Yep.
It's roughly what you're spending.
Hard to believe, but
I know. Like I said,
nothing's free.
well, you'll still be paying us, but you know,
Right.
you'll get that savings from your utility
I'm with
costs, so it's like it's free.
I get it.
And then the other thing we hear a lot is, geez, it's such a pain to change, you know. So what I've been doing with every proposal I do, and every new system I pick up, is Chem-Aqua's developed a transition plan. And it's color-coded. As you can see, the gray is stuff that's our responsibility. Yellow is, that gold is what's yours. And really the only responsibility you're going to have is that little bit of plumbing probably.
Okay.
And maybe, I'm pretty sure there was an outlet right there by that panel. But
I think you're right.
yeah. But you know, so it might be a little electrical, maybe a little plumbing, but not much.
Right.
But what we do is we sit down, and this will probably be something John and I fill out, assign dates, assign responsibilities. We can never guarantee that, you know,
Right.
something out of the ordinary might happen where I know you said at one time, I think you lost some production the last time you made a switch.
Right.
We're going to try our hardest to make you feel as confident as possible that that won't happen.
Okay.
So, you know, that's basically what we put together for you. I think it's a pretty good program. I think we've discovered a lot of things that can really help you out, improve your operations. Is there anything else that?
No, I think that covers it. I mean, it looks like you did a lot of work, and it's clear that you.
Yeah, the last time we talked, I'd asked you what your budget was,
Right.
and you had said it's pretty sure it's in that $16,000 a year range.
Yeah.
So now, if we can, deliver on those ROI, provide the equipment and the tanks, and deliver we talked about.